Deputy Speaker, over my time in this parliament and again with this motion, we see that the Liberals and Nationals nowhere in their debate or in the motion is there any acknowledgement that we are living in a climate crisis and that we need to take immediate action. It's not in this motion, it's not what they're saying in parliament, and it's not even in any policy that they put forward to the electorate. I mean, how can the alternative government of Australia in 2024 still not acknowledge the need for meaningful action to address climate change? The Liberals and Nationals still haven't come to terms with Australia and where the world are on this. And nothing tells us this more than their pathological and incessant opposition to renewables. They oppose renewables offshore. They oppose renewables onshore. They oppose transmission, even when it's to connect their own project, Snowy 2.0, to the grid. They promote conspiracy theories about renewables in parliament, and they use inflammatory language at rallies outside of it. Exactly right. And their latest energy thought bubble relies on nuclear, something which will not be in the grid until at least 2040. Their 23rd energy policy now rests on this technology, the most expensive form of new power. Nuclear, of course, is not only incompatible with renewable energy, but due to its long lead time, is one that will only give fossil fuels a new lease of life in electricity generation. Deputy Speaker, the science and the economics tells us that we need to replace fossil fuels with firmed renewable energy. And it was for these reasons that this government was elected. Bennelong elected me to help reduce emissions. And Australia elected a parliament to take action on climate change. Australia has told us that we must reduce emissions with renewables at the heart of our energy production. Our government has set achievable emissions reduction targets, a 43% reduction in carbon emissions by 2030 and a target of 82% renewable energy in our grids by 2030. They're ambitious, but they're achievable. Our focus is growing renewable energy sources like solar and wind and clean dispatchable capacity such as battery storage to meet these targets. And this transition is happening right now and it must continue. Since we came to office, renewables in the national energy market have increased by 25%. Minister Plibersek has approved 55 renewable energy projects in 2 years, enough to power 3 million homes. And to meet our targets, that growth must not only continue but accelerate. Over 90% of coal will exit our energy market by 2040, and that is a good thing. To replace that coal, we cannot wait for nuclear, and we certainly cannot afford nuclear. Experts have told us over and over that the best way to replace coal is predominantly with renewables, with gas helping us get there. We have historically depended on coal for electricity generation. Fossil fuels currently contribute around 68% to total electricity generation. However, this has to end and is diminishing rapidly. We are committed to ensuring that this transition happens in a way that provides reliable and affordable energy to all Australians. And the role gas will need to play in that is an important one, but it's not a dominant one. Gas will be a bridge to firm the renewable energy in our grid, because the great thing about gas, Deputy Speaker, is that it can be turned off when it's not needed. In a decarbonised economy, the role of gas around the world will change. We must plan for that change and be upfront about it. In the near term, gas will firm renewables as more wind, solar and storage comes online. We must prioritise the expansion of renewable energy and ensure that gas is only used where necessary to support the transition. You see, unlike the Liberals who have had 23 energy policies unable to land one, our policy is working, it's clear, it's transparent and we're delivering it. The government wants to reduce emissions and we want an Australia powered by renewables. Our plan confronts the economic and environmental need to reduce our use of fossil fuels while also ensuring that our renewables transition is firmed when needed. Instead of attacking renewables and giving fossil fuels a new lease of life, this parliament should be working together to make the transition to renewable energy as quick and effective as possible. Hear, hear.